Patriots lost 38-3 today in the worst loss of Bill Belichick's entire coaching career. And
Wow.
Mac
Didn't know
Jones
that.
got benched in this game. Former first-round pick Mac Jones was
Mhm.
benched in favor of Bailey Zappi late in the third quarter. And I certainly don't blame them. It got to a point in the third quarter where it felt like he was actively rebelling against the offense in a way that I can't really remember a quarterback doing in a professional football game. He tried to throw like 6 interceptions over a two drive stretch.
Did you like his throwbacks all the way across the field?
It
Like
was insane.
multiple.
Multiple throwbacks all the way across the field, but then the one that I think probably got him yanked, it wasn't even an interception, it was an incompletion. It was his final throw of the game, and he just turned. It was just like a duck and toss. He just ducked and threw the ball like 3 feet over Devontae Parker's head, I think, and that was it. That's all they needed to see. He looked like he had short-circuited at a certain point in that game, where whether it was him staring down at the pass rush, he was not playing quarterback within the offense. And maybe that's a symptom of the Cowboys and a symptom of just having a really bad day. But this is troubling if you were the Patriots, the way that this is going right now.
Oh man. And what stinks is that like they had so many stretches in the first few weeks where I was like, okay, this offense could be workable. And it's just a overwhelming defense, just winning, creating one-on-ones across the entire field, 5 up front, 5 across the board, safety in the post, and just kicking their ass. And then Mac Jones just short circuiting the downward spiral of a quarterback. Like we don't get many of those anymore because like the quarterback pass game is just so safe now, and just like you can kind of get the easy buckets and everything. So you don't really get the true spiral. And we got a spiral today, and it was a get right game for the Cowboys, but it was kind of really disappointing because Mac Jones, like his whole game is being accuracy and precise and not making mistakes like that. Creation is not overly your game. He's an okay scrambler and he's okay throwing on the move, but that's not his game. So it was just very
You got to
terrifying to
make
see it.
good decisions if you're built like Mac Jones in order
Yeah,
to be a viable
and
quarterback in the
know what
NFL.
your team is. You have backups at your offensive line, or just at least young guys across the board. Like you're just your
Too. I mean,
team.
they got a right tackle in the game today that I'd never heard of before, and they got backups in multiple different spots, and that's not good against the Cowboys. But that's kind of my question here. Do you feel like this is a product of playing the Cowboys defense because there had been some nice flashes over the first 3 weeks? Or do you feel like this is an indication that we're truly on a downslide here that there might not be any coming back from?
I think it was mostly Cowboys defense, but I do think it was concerning that he like just also went into panic mode and like like just kept spamming the like the 1% plays over and over. But I have seen enough like where I'm just like they're not great. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're okay-ish is the furthest I would go. But honestly, this game felt like a reverse Patriots game in the past. It was an overwhelming defense that forced a quarterback to make a bunch of mistakes, and there was a super efficient quarterback just dicing you up, and a super efficient offense just dicing you up, and they just overwhelm you and rinse and repeat. But it's just, to me, I feel like this Patriots offense has improved, but it's just they have way too much needed. They need speed at playmakers. They need yards after the catch if they're going to live this way with Mac Jones. And also on top of it, the offensive line, of course, is just battered. So it's just like that's just way too tough too.
I don't know what to make of them. I don't know what to make of them as currently constructed. I don't know what to make of them moving forward. The defense is still very good. They were banged
Yeah.
up today. They're down to whoever at corner. The first play, Miles Bryant is out there as an outside corner after Christian Gonzalez gets hurt. They hit him with the sluggo for a touchdown. I mean, when you're down to your fourth or fifth corner, and Sean Wade was getting picked on early in this game, few teams can contend with that, especially against a good Dallas team. So I still think over the course of a season, the Patriots defense will keep them in games. But let's say they keep them in some games. Let's say the best version of the Patriots defense is like the 18th to 20th best offense in the league, and the defense is consistently competitive. You're a 6 or 7 win team,
right?
In this AFC,
Ups.
and then what? Like, is Mac Jones your quarterback again next year after what we've seen in moments like today? If he's not your quarterback next year, do you start over again? This team has $120 million in cap space next year. Like, they essentially just have a blank slate of a roster, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing based on the way that they've handled having tons of resources at points over the last 3 or 4 years. So just whatever this last stretch of the Bill Belichick era is, whether that's 1 more year, 2 more years, I just truly don't know what to make of it, because today doesn't necessarily feel like an outlier. It was a low moment for the offense, but it's not like, wow, I can't believe the Patriots played that way today. It feels like a continuation of a lot of shit we've seen over the last 2 years.
I know, exactly. Like the defense and like the parts, and they're doing some interesting stuff. And then the offense. And the last thing too is that the last time Belichick really had some cap space, he made a big splash. He signed Judon, but then he signed Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, our guy Kendrick Bourne, Nelson
Nelson
Aguilar.
Aguilar.
And it's like, okay, so do we really trust you with paying offensive guys? And so that's something that we got to keep an eye on too. But I do like the defense, and they do have a lot of fun young players on defense. But it's just like this offense can't stay toe to toe with the big wigs. The NFC, the Cowboys are one of the juggernauts of the NFC, and on top of that, you have in their own division they have a couple monsters, and on top of that, they have to play multiple other teams that are monsters. So it's like, but they don't have that offense to go toe to toe. The Cowboys ran a fake field goal from the 15-yard line, the first time ever. So you can see what different modes these teams are in. The Patriots are in survival mode on offense, and the Cowboys are running the first ever fake field goal from the 15-yard line. And also, Dak has a new cadence, I noticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go.
I really like it. I really like it. It definitely
that's a
added
new one.
something today. It was I really enjoyed that in those moments.
Ready, Sunday, Omaha. Yeah, here we go.
Here we go is a new addition. That was a
that's a
fun
new
little
one.
surprise today. The running game is the last thing I wanted to bring up. They lost 10 points of EPA on their runs today.
No way.
So the Patriots' combined rushing attempts in this game subtracted 10 points from their score, essentially, because of how inefficient that they were. 35% of their runs in this game went for negative yardage or no gain.
Oh boy. Think the Cowboys defense was angry.
A little upset after the way that last week went.